Good morning, retail traders. This is Tie Sunday, where I talk about my watch list for this coming week and anything that's on my mind. This is the Sneaky Snake trading strategy, where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. And I want to wish everybody a great 2025. I think it's going to be outstanding. Let's get at it. First thing I want you to pay attention to is any black crows. If we have like 3 black crows on a good little run, or maybe just a pullback in the morning, it might be a good opportunity to buy the dip. I'm having a lot of great success trading off of the 3 black crows, and I usually sell it when it gets back up to that first crow, or depends on market conditions. So 3 black crows is a bearish pattern that sometimes have a real strong reversal back to the upside, and try to just more or less just people getting out of their trades. They might be up or they might be in fear, and so it don't take too many minutes, about 3 minutes. That's what I have this at. You could use it in any time frame. If you like to use the 5-minute, that's fine. If you like to use the hour, if you like to use the daily, or even the weekly. Usually after the weekly and the daily, it's a good opportunity for a reversal back to the upside. That's 3 black crows. Also, Donald Trump's in the news again. He's probably going to get the liberals pissed off, but he put out a meme coin that's running like a rocket. People are making hundreds of thousands of dollars right now trading the Trump coin, Trump meme. You know that's always a rug pull in these coins, so just be careful. Make sure you put a stop loss in it at your entry price. So this is the watch list that I've been trading off of it. I call it the Tony Jim, for a friend of mine that I tried to help trading stocks, and let's get at it. So first one on the watch list is NVDA. NVDA, we've been trading pretty much. The time it comes down and sells off, we had there's many of novice traders that are bearish in this stock right now for some reason. I don't understand why. It's still the same company as it was. Their reason is because it hit a certain market cap, and that was too much. But the company still puts out these wonderful chips. The only thing that got in its way last week was that Biden administration put a little alarm on selling chips to the communist countries, and that caused the stock to pull back, and it had a nice recovery after that news. So right now I'm going to clean this page up, just kind of draw it out for you. We're going to start out fresh. We did hit the 200 on the 1 hour time frame. I use that as a pivot point on the 1 hour. And if we can break that pivot point, we'll get back up to 140, 139, somewhere right around that area. We do have a head and shoulders right here. Let's go ahead and get that price line in there. So somewhere right around 139.78. And if that breaks, it'll run on up to 141. Now remember, fat cats have a little negative sentiment on this right now, and I think that it can, if it does pull back, I like this 133 area, 133, 134, somewhere right around there, and that's where I'd probably put my alert, and maybe back down here at the bottom at 130.46, which I called out in the room the other day with a double bottom. Boom, we had a snake breakout, pull back, double bottom, boom. So it ran up, and now it's kind of consolidating, but it needs to break 139.78 for it to go higher. If not, she'll pull back to either one of these 2 support levels at 133, 134, or 130.50 area. Tesla, they tried their best to do their damage on Tesla, just not working very well for them. Fat cats and novice traders again, downgrading Tesla. Makes no sense. Now, I think Tesla has a target of 750 this year, and fat cats think it has a target of 233. So I laugh at them in their face, and I think the lowest support right now is going to be right around that 380 area, 373. It could dip on down to, like I said before, right around that 360, 363 area. for a strong buy. Resistance to break, we do have a little breakout already with the overhead resistance, and I'm going to draw that line in here. Right around that 428 area. So if that holds, that's fine, but we always use that 200 SMA as a pivot point. Like I've said before, you can see it's bounced off the 200, bounced off the 200 EMA and SMA, and it broke the 200 and found support again on the 200 SMA. And that 200 SMA is going to be your solid support. Anything below it, we could dip on down. And we also have a flag, symmetrical flag coming out of a vertical snake to the upside, and that low support's right around 386. And we'll go ahead and put that price line in there right now. Somewhere right around there, 387.35. So I'd set my alert for right around that 200 SMA on the 1 hour time frame and see if it doesn't bounce from there. That's right around 406. Should see buyers start to come in right around that spot. Mara had a nice little bounce again off that support level that we called out in the room. We had a snake breakout, double bottom. She run up and she almost tried to break resistance. And if it does break resistance, we can get this thing back up to right around the 2231 area, or she pulls again back to the 200, and that's where I'd put my support or my alert right off the 200 SMA on the 1 hour time frame. Next one is a SPY. The SPY, let's put this on the 5-day, 5-minute. We're going to clean this up. We trade the SPY on a daily basis. It's a lot more feasible for people with small accounts than what I trade with the SPX. I can make 2 or 3 grand a day trading the SPX, but here comes a SPY, and I scalp it 4 or 5 times in that period. So, you know, we got the inaugural coming up on the 20th. The market is closed. We've been slammed with negativity from the fat cats and the novice traders. And when I say novice traders, I'm talking about CNBC, mostly, in general. They're the swamp when it comes to trading, and they've been wanting to bring this market down, and they just can't do it. They've tried their damnedest. But again, you know, I think the previous resistance here will be the first support that we need to look at, right around 595.69. And then if it dips on down, we got a lower support right around 590 something this coming week. Now, if something drastically bad happens to Trump, which I hope it doesn't, they've tried 2 or 3 times already to assassinate him. They don't understand that the American people have spoke, and that's what we elect them politicians in there for, and all they can do is kind of badmouth Trump. But Trump's got a good team. He knows what to expect now. And we've been weaponized against as a federal government, the DOJ, the FBI, the IRS. They just don't want us to drain the swamp, but it's got to stop. You know, them getting filthy rich and raising taxes on us middle-class people just ain't going to cut the cake no more. So we've got 595.69 for the first support, and if that holds, a resistance to break is going to be around 599.16. That $600 mark has always been kind of hard to deal with, but I think after earnings come out, banks were excellent. Banks had great earnings, and the novice traders trade off that, but they're still pessimistic about Donald Trump, and I think he's just going to bring great stuff. Going to stop the wars, going to stop the human trafficking over the border, and there's just a lot of good things that are going to come out of that. So we've got 595.69 for your first support, then your second one right down here, right around 593. 593.91, 592, and and then the bottom line support to hold to stay bullish for the rest of the week will be 590. And if that dips on down, then it's a pretty good knife down to that next support at 585. But let's keep an eye. As long as we stay above 595.69, we remain bullish. We could get a lot of volatility of what's coming out with all the proclamations that are going to come out with Donald Trump signing. So we'll just have to see how the market reacts. I'm bullish, and I'm going to keep staying bullish into 2025. We got NIO. China's going to be something to watch. I think China's going to be on a rebound. My favorite picks for China are going to be these four right here. If you want to jot these down, BABA, KWEB, PDD, and JD are my top four picks when it comes to China. And I'd keep a good lookout on all of them and start trading off of them there. We got Amazon. Amazon's had a great run. It's definitely a good one to watch. Let's go back to the 1 hour on this one here, 90 days. We got resistance to break at 299.87 and support to hold to keep bullish right around 220. If that doesn't hold, then we got a real strong buy at 215.92 to run it back up and keep it in this Darvis box. AMD is one of my top picks for the year. I think this one will definitely have a nice rebound, especially if we make good with China. And that's what Trump will do. He's the man with the deal. And I think we're going to appeal all the negativity that the Democrats have put out. And China just has not been able to run or break out. And I think it's about time they do. So AMD, I consider it to be an China company. It's Taiwan or whatever. But I do like this company a lot. They bring in a lot of money. And I think 132.40 will be long on this one here, with some pivot points on the way up, with a bottom line support right around that 116.31 area to hold. We can dip down to a double bottom at 113, but I'd love to see this thing get back up to 132.40. I'm long in this trade, and I wish everybody the best in it. I think this one can really have a nice run back up to 155. We got WBA. The government came out again right after great earnings and sued them again for this opioid breakout thing. I thought that was all over with, but here they go again. The DOJ sues over illegal prescription accusations. So accusations is what it is. So it pulled back. I called this out on the earnings, and we had a nice little run. And then it pulled back to a 50% pullback. Now, a trade like this, you want to put your fibbies on it. And I usually put my fibbies where it started another breakout. To that top. So we pulled back 50%, and that's usually a good place to get in the trade. But with this DOJ news, I think we can drop down more and get a lot better buy on it. But, I'd probably put it on the back burner. AVGO, here's another great stock. Now, AVGO Broadcom has a low resistance right around 220, a little bit below 220. And we're going to take it, it's called an underlining resistance, a triple bottom. If you know how to count to 3, you can trade with me. So right around the 217 area is going to be your low support for this stock right now. If that holds, that'd be a strong buy to run it back up and then try to break resistance right around 250. First support is going to be right off the 200, right off the 1 hour time frame, and that's right around 229. So keep AVGO on watch every morning. If it has a little knife, it could break out to the upside, and it could break out past resistance of 238.70 and run all the way up to 250 for a weekly trade. The Donald broke out again. Now, I had a liberal ask me once, how is that DJT stock doing? I said, it's doing great. He was bashing it when it was down here at the low, and right after he bashed me on it, the thing ran up and hit 57.50 during the election process. This thing needs to consolidate a little bit. For right now, the low support on this one right now is right around 33.46, 33 something. So I'm going to put a price line in that channel right there. And if that holds, that'll be a strong buy right around 33.48, 30, a little bit under it, not much. It could double bottom down here at 32.61 and bounce up off that. So keep a good eye on this one here. We got a double confirmation with this low right here up to that, which brings you right up to that support level right around 35 bucks. So I'm going to set my alert right there. Set it at the mark at below. That's where I like to set them at 35.24 with resistance to break, which is right around the 43 area. $43. If we can break that, we'll go higher. If not, I think we need to consolidate. But it's a meme stock. It don't make no money. It's just something that you scalp. Google on the top of my watch list. We've been in a Darvis box for the past month and a half. Resistance to break, I think, is going to be right here on the shoulder line of this two-headed snake. Right around 197.81 with a solid buy at the shoulder line of this head and shoulders, right around 188.24. That could be your good idea for an alert. I'm going to bring this back up, put it up right about that, right around in there somewhere, 188, 189. If that holds, we'll stay bullish. If not, she could drop down and hit this previous high right here, right around 182. But for right now, 188, 189, and then resistance to break 197.81. Uber is on my watch list. This one's had a pretty good pullback. Now, I'm not a big fan of Uber at all, but fat cats and novice traders really like this stock. I don't. But I think if we break resistance level of right around the $70, it can go ahead and start a new breakout. If not, she'll pull back and find support right around 65 or the 200 SMA for a scalp. But right now we're above that pivot point, the 200 SMA on the 1 hour, and that's a bullish sign. If we go below it, it can drop. If not, it can top. The top resistance is right around, like I said, that $71 area. And that's where I'd probably go ahead and get out of the trade unless it breaks out, and then you got a pretty good upside to it. And that's $71, $72. Now, those were all the volume highs that I look at. And when I come in every morning, I'll take and go to my percentage, and I'll look for the biggest sellers, and I'll see if I can find a good scalp off them. And then I'll go to my percentage high, and I'll see what's breaking out, and I'll put a good watch out on them. So that's kind of how I look at the morning when I first come in and watch my watch list. If you don't have a watch list, you're making a huge mistake. Keep it small if you're not a novice trader. Start with 10 and then move it on up. I've got tons of watch lists. I put them in every sector, but I think, it's a valid conversation to have. If you don't have a watch list, you need to look at one every day. Do your own research, do your own homework. We're the community that tries to give you ideas, but you've got to do it yourself. You can't just, hey, Johnny called out Tesla and it's going to break to 200, 500 bucks. You better get in it. Don't do that. Do your own homework. Be in the now. Know what kind of trends are going on in the market. Listen to these so-called novice fat cats that are on CNBC and call, and 90% of the time they're pumping their own trades. they're pumping triple tops, and I don't do triple tops unless I'm in a triple bottom or a double bottom or some kind of pattern that's going to ensure me that we could have a nice breakout. I wish everybody a great day. This is the sneaky, watch out for them crows. Watch out for them crows. When they come out in the morning, 3 black crows. If you don't know what one is, type in 3 black crows, chart pattern, and learn how to trade it. This is a sneaky snake trading strategy where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. And I wish everybody a great 2025. And let's hope Trump stays safe, keep this market going. If not, we could have a pretty good crash. Have a great day.